Of all the fights, you've had 50. Who would you say was your toughest opponent?
You got guys that punch hard and hit hard, and you got guys that come out and win a few rounds. But nothing really was tough.
Floyd fired the referee in the middle of the bout. He stops the bout. He's like, get the fuck out of here.
Castillo got robbed.
Max Kellerman left no room for ambiguity about his stance. Famous for his razor-sharp analysis, he didn't just share a fresh perspective. He went straight at one of boxing's most iconic figures. In doing so, he may have lit the fuse on a new firestorm, one that has split fans down the middle and forced everyone to reconsider what they thought they knew about the sport and its greatest legends.
And Sugar Ray Robinson, how many wins he got? I said he got like over 150 wins. He stopped for a minute. He said, but who got more championship titles, me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be the expert. But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. You said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. And said, I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh man, you fake. I saw that as a initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest.
He's been outspoken and brutally direct in his mission to tear down Floyd Mayweather's legacy, leaving no doubt about his position. In Kellerman's eyes, the crown has shifted. There's a new undefeated king in the sport.
Wild, because like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, then I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Oh, yes. That makes a difference.
The Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought. Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. Cotto, an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. You waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. He fought Shane Mosley at 38 years old, and it still was a good fight while he left. Shane almost took him out at 38. He fought Oscar De La Hoya at an old age. My point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them biggest, best two names you can pull up? I'm just saying, Floyd never fought nobody that was hubby's equal.
It all began with whispers, the kind that inevitably trail a legend like Floyd Mayweather. Even in retirement, his presence still looms over boxing, and every word he speaks continues to carry tremendous weight.
Floyd provided everyone unrealistic expectations. You could win every fight, basically never get hit, and make all the money. it's not going to work like that for the most part for everybody, you know? Like, it literally only went that way for one guy.
I love Floyd, but it seems like everybody's afraid to have that O, to have a 1 or 2 where the O used to be. Ali lost. Sugar Ray lost. Hagler lost. Hearns lost. These guys lost. When did the O become the end-all, be-all?
I think Mayweather, you know, and how he made it big to the public. Like 47 and tried, 47 have failed, and then it got all the way to 50, and it's like, you know,
break Marciano's record.
Now retired, unblemished. Andre Ward, unblemished. You know, Joe Calzaghe, unblemished. You know, and it's like, when people look at him, they be like, man, that dude never lost before. You know, people can't say that. You know, a lot of people.
As talk about the current pound-for-pound king, Terence "Bud" Crawford hit a boiling point. Mayweather's camp began stirring the pot, dropping subtle remarks that seemed to question the reign of today's top star. It wasn't a direct challenge, but a calculated reminder of who once sat unchallenged on the throne. But what looked like another standard play from the Mayweather playbook suddenly sparked something bigger. Max Kellerman, a man who has dissected every chapter of Floyd's career, heard the whispers and fired back with a ferocity no one could have anticipated.
was fighting everyone right up until the point where he started to make money. But as much credit as you get for making, the primacy of business, for making business your priority, well, that comes with trade-offs. Because when you make business decisions constantly, sometimes your athletic achievements won't be regarded in the same way as if you made athletic achievements your priority. That said, Mayweather has accomplished a tremendous amount athletically. But the three fighters he didn't fight, Antonio Margarito, Manny Pacquiao, when he was obliterating De La Hoya, Hatton, and Cotto, and Shane Mosley when he still has something left. And while he will wind up fighting Pacquiao and Mosley, it'll both be, at the right time for Floyd. That said, what about at the right time for Floyd? He's also ancient. A fighter approaching 40, fighting at the level Mayweather is fighting, is unheard of. Mayweather, until recent times, would be considered one of the greatest older fighters. That would be the whole story. Oh my God, can you believe how old Mayweather is? It's a little bit unfair to Floyd to say, well, you're picking these guys at the right time. Floyd is old.
Kellerman didn't hold back. This wasn't the polished, cautious commentary fans were accustomed to. It was raw, unfiltered, and disruptive. The first bombshell came when he tackled the sacred comparison head-on, Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford. Instead of bowing to Floyd's immaculate record, Kellerman flipped the script. He declared that Crawford, through his fearless pursuit of the toughest available challenges, has already crafted a stronger, more meaningful legacy. He painted the contrast in bold strokes. Mayweather, especially post-lightweight, wasn't just a defensive genius inside the ropes. He was a chess master outside of them, carefully orchestrating when and how he faced opponents. According to Kellerman, Floyd's brilliance wasn't just boxing, it was business, often timing fights for when big names had lost a step.
The Pacquiao you're describing, who knocked out Ricky Hatton, who YouTubed Ricky Hatton, turned YouTube into a verb, what he did to Ricky Hatton, and then destroyed Cotto, and before that, and then just the way he beat De La Hoya even before that,
Well, De La Hoya was old, though.
Sure, but Mayweather fought those guys basically at the same point in their career that Pacquiao did, before them. Okay. And the reason that Mayweather-Pacquiao fight was hyped up to the extent that it was, is that, boy, Mayweather's this all-time great, and Pacquiao was doing these guys even worse than Floyd is doing them. Everyone wanted to see that fight. That Pacquiao's been gone for a long time. So why don't fighters retire when they
the feud between Floyd, Mayweather, and Terence Crawford is heating up so badly as Floyd recently leaked a sparring session he had with Crawford before the fight when they met at Shakur. Stevenson's training camp, right?
I put 5, that's right.
Wow. That's cheating.
I love it.
That is cheating.
That's a heel turn. You the boss.
That is heel.
That's a heel turn.
I love it. You do that 5.
Why you get 5?
Now, here's the thing. Roy at his peak, just remember this. If Roy would have retired after the Ruiz fight, he would have replaced Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time.
I agree.
Right? But he didn't, and the rest of that stuff is in there, right? So I get it, but Roy at his peak, I think, had a higher peak than anyone on this list.
I agree.
Okay, Manny Pacquiao, we've all said it a million times. I think he is, outside of Sugar Ray Robinson, I have Manny Pacquiao's second greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever. Floyd Mayweather never lost. And did he cherry-pick when and where? Yes. But guys, from 130, 135, he cleaned out 135. He beat the best guy at 130, beat the best guy at 135. Yes, did he pick and choose at 140, 47, and 54? Yeah, but he won all those fights.
That's right.
And he beat a lot of good fighters.
50-0.
And more than that, put Floyd at his best in with anyone through history. You do not know who wins. Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao, it's true. Floyd is one of the top 10 greatest pound-for-pound fighters who ever lived. Tough to argue otherwise. But pound for pound, he can't be above Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was a flyweight champion. Not that he turned pro at flyweight. He was good enough as a flyweight to be the lineal champion, the real champion. Now, he didn't win titles in every division. He skipped some of these, but I just want to tell you how flyweight, junior bantam, junior feather, junior light, junior welter,
He's rapping again.
Junior middle.
He rolling.
And he laid waste to these divisions. Yeah. He fought great fighters. He never ducked anybody.
Mayweather, no disrespect at all to him. He's one of my favorite fighters growing up. Love watching him fight. Perhaps the greatest boxing business person of all time. Yeah. Look at actual boxers in the business. But I don't want to see many fighters come out of retirement. He's done everything he can do. He's one of the best fighters of all time. Stay retired.
He highlighted Crawford's destruction of Errol Spence Jr., along with his dominant win over Canelo Alvarez, as undeniable evidence. In Kellerman's view, that fearless attitude of taking on anyone, anytime wasn't just impressive, it represented true greatness. He argued that this very quality was absent in the later stages of Mayweather's career. That comment alone could have stirred controversy, but Kellerman was only getting started.
Fired the referee in the middle of the bout. He stops the bout. He's like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
Because he's the promoter also.
Well, I guess. I mean, also it's Floyd Mayweather. Like, what's the referee going to do? Floyd throws this punch, and he's 100% correct. The punch landed the side of the head. It's a right hook. It's a perfect punch. And the referee was saying, watch the back of the head. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That wasn't the back of the head. And so he kicks the guy out. And they bring in a different referee who finishes the fight.
But to really understand the weight of this debate, you need to realize this wasn't the first occasion Kellerman went all in against Floyd Mayweather. For years, their names have been tied together through one of the most talked about predictions in modern boxing, a shadow that still follows Kellerman today. Well before the blockbuster showdown with Manny Pacquiao, he was one of the loudest and most credible voices forecasting Mayweather's collapse. Time and again, he insisted that Floyd's iconic defensive style was bound to decline, arguing that age and mileage would eventually catch up and end his flawless record.
Who would your top 5 be?
Sugar Ray Robinson.
Number 1?
Yeah, and then pound for pound. See, Pacquiao he started as a flyweight champ. Not just he started his career there. He was the champion at flyweight and then moved up. There are so many divisions between flyweight and junior middleweight where he also won a belt. Even the fact that he could compete with Floyd Mayweather, who's a naturally bigger guy and one of the greatest pure boxers, Pacquiao's overall body of work, you could have him second pound for pound behind Sugar Ray Robinson.
How come I'm watching highlights of him knocking people out though, as little as he is, man?
Oh, that dude. It's the calves, man. He's got those fast twitchies and those big calves jump in on you and generate a lot of power. Crazy hand speed and power from a southpaw. Really awkward, hard to beat, lightning fast. Pacquiao was all that.
He wasn't just calling for a defeat, he was predicting a total collapse. But that downfall never happened. Mayweather went on to handle Pacquiao and retire undefeated, turning Kellerman's bold forecast into a running joke among boxing fans, a lasting reminder of what many saw as his bias against Money Mayweather. This backdrop adds serious weight to the current debate, raising the question, is Kellerman genuinely building Crawford's legacy, or is he making one last move in a decade-long chess game, trying to rewrite the definition of greatness to vindicate his old stance? As fans were still digesting his comments on Crawford, Kellerman widened the scope, targeting one of boxing's most untouchable titles, Floyd Mayweather's pound-for-pound throne. In a recent ESPN list ranking Floyd at number 1 for the century, Kellerman delivered his strongest objection yet. He argued that, pound for pound, Mayweather shouldn't even be placed above Manny Pacquiao. To him, Pacquiao's rise from flyweight to welterweight, conquering multiple divisions and never shying away from danger, was a historic journey that Mayweather's carefully steered career couldn't equal.
Pacquiao wasn't able to make flyweight. He was a flyweight who won the lineal championship. So if that's not the most, or one of the 2 or 3 most impressive things in the history of boxing, the fact that he could move up, give me an example of another flyweight who was the lineal champion, moved up, won a bunch of titles in between, and then was that good as a welterweight. Pacquiao won lineal titles, indisputable, that's the man who beat the man, or else putting belts together. No one had ever done it before, ever. No one ever did that. No one ever came close to dreaming about doing that, and then Pacquiao did it. So the fact that Pacquiao is even competitive with Floyd Mayweather, who's one of the greatest pure boxers ever, do any of us believe that if they were the same size naturally, Floyd would beat Pacquiao?
And Kellerman wasn't the only one voicing this dissent. Rising boxing star Ryan Garcia openly supported his stance, saying that he has consistently placed Pacquiao ahead of Mayweather in his own rankings.
Pacquiao's my favorite, and you are right.
Yeah.
But he did beat Pacquiao, and nobody has changed the game like Floyd Mayweather.
He mastered the art of knowing when to fight somebody and when not to fight somebody. I mean, that he's the best in that game. He's the best in, making money and making all the, the huge fights happen. But why? Because he was timing every single one of them. He never fought nobody really in their prime. He always
after junior lightweight. Junior lightweight,
he changed the game in the worst way possible. You're right. Everybody's trying to protect their own. I had to break that, right, with Tank.
Like, that's one of my idols. Like, I really look up to Pacquiao. Like, people don't know, but like, he's one of the people I look at. I'm like, man, like, this guy is everything I would want to be, as a career, as a fighter, because he did everything, like, with such grace, and he did, put up spectacular fights, helped out his community. I'm trying to do things similar like that, but me, I'm more of I want to give back to, you know, like the younger generation. I want to help them with like.
I could really say something negative. I could really say something positive. But when it's all said and done, and we all approach situations in a different way. Rather Tank was to win or he was to be on the other side and take a loss, I would have stood right there behind him, 100%. And it's no different from you guys seeing a lot of times Tank vent out on social media. But I'm right there. He's young. So if I'm with you through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I've always spoke about loyalty.
Nobody would do business with you if you act like this.
But it happens a lot in boxing, though, right?
Oh yeah, because
to
it's
be common in
strategic.
boxing, yeah.
Floyd was telling him all these things.
Floyd's given this counsel to
Yes.
Devontae.
Who do you think is telling him to do the rehydration clauses and not, you know, putting all these stipulations on me? You can't do this, you can't do that. The ring needs to be this size. It's Davis Garcia. It's not. But all these things were all by Floyd. Hey, this kid is different. You're gonna say he is different, and you're gonna say I have no worries on whoever he fights. You're gonna say that. Just spend a week with me. That's all I say. Let's go hang out. Let's do what we do. You're gonna see something, and I'm not here to prove myself to nobody. At the end of the day,
no. Even though people hate Floyd Mayweather, I love Floyd Mayweather. This guy is almost 50 years old, and he's still like taking pictures with all his watches. When I go on a trip for 10 days,
I take 30 watches with me.
If I go on a trip for 20 days,
I take 10 more watches.
It's a 30-day trip.
Then I bring out the watch that costs $18 million.
And he pulls out like this $1 million